Welcome everybody to the Archetypical Mind study group. This is session 16, and today we're doing transformation of the body. Let's start with the prayer of light.
Love before me, love behind me, love at my left, love at my right, love above me, love below me, love in me, love in my surroundings, love to all, love to the universe. Peace before me, peace behind me, peace at my left, peace at my right, peace above me, peace below me, peace in me, peace in my surroundings, peace to all, peace to the universe. Light before me, light behind me, light at my left, light at my right, light above me, light below me, light in me, light in my surroundings, light to all, light to the universe.
We thank the One Infinite Creator for this opportunity to serve, to know ourselves, to accept ourselves, and to become the Creator. Let our hearts be filled with gratitude to those of Ra for bringing us the archetypes as a tool for this inner work, and those of Quo for extending our knowledge of these tools. We extend our gratitude to the channeling team at LL Research for bringing us this knowledge. We invite Quo to join us in this working. We also invite our guides, our higher selves, and the ascended masters to grace us with your presence and to show us what we need to know. May all beings find what they truly seek. Amen.
So, as we've been doing in those past few sessions, we're going to start with contemplation of the card. I have 4 cards over here. The one on the left side of the screen is from the CC Zane deck, which is the original deck that the LL Research cards were based on. The second one is the LL Research official card. The next one is from Rider-Waite, the Death card. And the last one on the right is the Brotherhood of Light modern deck. So just pick one of the cards, whichever one speaks to you, and let's take a look at the image that we see on the card. Where is he looking? To what side is he pointing? What does it have in its hands? Is there a symbol? Is there a rainbow in your card? And then what do you see at the bottom of the card? What does that mean for you? And we can gently pull away our focus from the card.
Questioner. Transformation of body is called death, for with death the body is transformed to a higher vibration body for additional learning. Is this correct? I am Ra. This is correct and may be seen to be additionally correct in that each moment and certainly each diurnal period of the bodily incarnation offers death and rebirth to one which is attempting to use the catalyst which has offered it.
Questionnaire. Are all activities that the entity has as it experiences things from the state of infancy a function of the potentiator of the mind? Ra, I'm Ra. Firstly, although the functions of the mind are indeed paramount over those of the body being the creature of the mind, certainly not all actions of a mind-body-spirit complex could be seen to be due to the potentiating qualities of the mind complex alone, as the body, and in some cases the spirit, also potentiates action. Secondly, as the mind-body-spirit complex becomes aware of the process of spiritual evolution, more and more of the activities of the mind and body, which precipitate activity, are caused by those portions of the mind-body-spirit complex which are articulated by the archetypes of transformation.
Ra. Each of the images leading to the transformations of mind, body, and spirit, and ultimately to the great transformative choice, has the increasing intensity of increasing articulation of concept. That is to say, each image in which you find this angle may increasingly be seen to be a more and more stridently calling voice of opportunity to use each resource, be it experience as you now observe or further images, for the grand work of the adept which builds towards transformation using the spirit's bountiful shuttle to intelligent infinity.
Within third density, not to build into the physical vehicle its ending would be counterproductive to the mind-body-spirit complexes therein residing, for within the illusion, it seems more lovely to be within the illusion than to drop the garment which has carried the mind-body-spirit complex and move on.
We ask you to consider your physical body as a spiritual refinery, an oven, if you will, or a furnace in which old things are burnt up and changed into new things. The nature of transformation in the physical world often contains an element of destruction. If one wishes to process or to refine the metal that is considered precious out of the basic ore, one must place the ore into the refining fire. There, the original material is actually transformed by melting it, reducing the ore to its component parts, and, through the processes of refinery, taking away the slag or waste products and collecting the pure and precious metal.
Your physical body will be destroyed. You are aware of this. There is not a single physical body upon the surface of this planet that will not be destroyed at some time in what you consider to be the future. You have an awareness of this and expect it, as do all of the people of your planet. This is what you know as death. It is a natural cycle for the physical body to be destroyed. It is alarming to most of the people who inhabit this planet to assume that their physical body will be destroyed before they expect it to be destroyed. However, it is possible at your present level of awareness in the physical to expect this destruction at any particular time.
There is no death. The reason that you presently have the concept of death is that you are unable to communicate in your present state of awareness with those whom you consider dead. There will be no inability to communicate between levels of awareness when the planet has moved into what is considered fourth density. Therefore, there will be no awareness of the concept of death. All physical bodies that now exist upon this planet will in the future not exist. This would occur even if there was no change of density, for it has occurred in a cyclical manner throughout all of the history of this planet. Why would this process be of any importance?
There are small deaths and big deaths. There is the small death of becoming conscious that you no longer need to hold on to this particular piece of armor or defense as you make contact with a strength of selfness, of rightness in self within, that you no longer need this particular pretense to guard and protect something within the self. And thus, you consciously are able, whether through ritual or through an epiphany or through a silent shift in the depth of your meditation, release it with gratitude and blessing for that aspect of yourself that served you for a time, letting it dissolve back into unity from whence you had distorted it.
And then on the other end of that spectrum are the big deaths. There is, of course, the great gateway of the conclusion of the incarnate experience. And there are the deaths that one moves through in the stages of life. From birth through the various psychological stages of growth in the childhood to the adolescence and young adulthood, and perhaps finding and committing oneself to a life partner, and so forth. And then there is the death brought on by that which is traumatic in the journey, which slams into the self, leaving no recourse but to dive deep, to face the impossible, to die to oneself.
There is that which in spiritual systems is sought through the journey of seeking, that the self may so die to the self, that the self may be reborn to more authentic beingness. That beingness which is not obscured by the containers of concept which separate sense of self from itself. Where unity begins to filter up into the conscious experience, and the creator may move more readily through such a one, until finally, in this journey of becoming, there is the death of the affliction of the separate self altogether.
To come to the gateway, you must have found your way to bring your whole energy body into balance, so that energy is rushing through you, unimpeded by those egoic concerns of red ray, yellow ray, and orange ray. Survival, sexuality, relationships, marriage, home, and family. Those who come to the gateway have let goods and kindred go, this mortal life also, and their entire essence is bound up in the devotion to the Creator and to serving the Creator that would bring one to wish to use the gateway. The note is that this is a line from Martin Luther's 1529 hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." The verse in which it occurs reads thusly: "That word above all earthly powers, no thanks to them, abideth. The Spirit and the gifts are ours through him who with us sideth. Let goods and kindred go, this mortal life also. The body they may kill. God's truth abideth still. His kingdom is forever."
The energy that gives life is also the energy that can limit and kill. It is up to each individual so to mold the thinking and the attitude and the processes of perception, that this perfect, precious, infinite energy may flow through all the energy centers unimpeded, unforced, spiraling upward naturally and back to the infinite creator as it leaves the physical top of the body, the head, the face, and the fingers.
In order to best allow the free passage of energy through the red ray, it is well to sit with the self and contemplate to one's satisfaction what it is to have life, what it is to have the beating heart and the intaken breath, what it is to be caught between the creator and nothingness, what it is to have the eyes open upon the present moment. That gift of life, if perceived for one instant as the infinite gift that it is stunning, breathtaking, miraculous, unbelievable. And yet it is yours, each one of you. This energy, this indrawn breath, this moment in space and time to form as you will, to express just as you choose to do.
As you contemplate this energy of life, know that it is but a shadow of something that is within each of you, that is even closer to the Creator than the light that you welcome into your energy field. For light is a manifested thing, yet that which lies closer than your breathing, nearer than your hands, is that which you are, the great original thought of love. One may identify with the body, or one may identify with a consciousness that is the one infinite creator. And depending upon whether the person identifies itself as body or as consciousness, much may be affected. We encourage each of you, while loving the body, to see it as the shadow of the true self. That true self that took this second density physical vehicle to be its home within the earth world. That consciousness that shall drop the garment of the body lovingly, gently, and with thanks when it is time to move on through the door of death.
Change is often to die to the self, and there is a skill as the spirit matures within the self that may be cultivated to allow one to move to more smoothly navigate the turbulent, often storming, sometimes even threatening waters and sky of the changing landscape, where much of that pain is born of resistance to change, even if upon the seeming other side of the change there is more wholeness.
So the skill then is to learn and to practice again and to practice again, surrender and acceptance. This surrender and this acceptance are born of a fundamental trust, a trust in the self, a trust in the universe, a trust that whatever the world may have to say about the nature of life and growth and birth and death, that the self is upon a journey. And in this journey, the self finds oneself in a classroom that is this physical plane that you know of as Earth, and that this journey has a purpose, has a meaning, has a point, has a trajectory.
And the self may lean into this, that the classroom and the journey are not intended to defeat the self, to kill or to disarrange the self, to harm the self, even if, as part of the journey, harm, loss, and limitation may be experienced, but rather that this journey is ultimately, we assure you, my friends, working for you, helping you to achieve that which is your heart's desire and the heart's desire of all sentient creatures in the universe, whatever their path and whatever their point of confusion.
That heart's desire is to return to that which they seem to have become separated from. That is to seek and to find that which they always have been and forever will be. that which they are right now outside of time and space, that being the one infinite creator, that being eternity, that being infinity.
The closest analog to the shaman's experience of death, which the place below the pyramid offered, are the American Indian rituals of the sweat lodge and the vision quest. In the sweat lodge, the heat takes one beyond the bounds of human awareness. It feels very much like a death, or as if one were close to death, and this is often a trigger for new awareness and the epiphany of the moment that has been sought.
Similarly, the vision quest, with its extreme levels of discomfort, offers to that seeker a chance to move beyond the usual bounds of what is considered acceptable. When one is too sleepless for too long, too hungry for too long, and too uncomfortable for too long, there comes a time when one goes beyond all of those limitations. It is forced into a kind of state of abeyance by the very intensity of the discomfort, and this also is a death-like experience.
This technique, however, can be employed on a far less strenuous basis, and the one known as G has often made use of these limited fasts. A time of fasting doesn't feel like death, certainly, but it does feel uncomfortable. And when it is fasting with an intention, then it is giving honor to that intention. The result of such a fast is often an enhanced awareness that comes from having sacrificed comfort in order to offer the self a spiritual road to walk.
You may almost see death of the shaman as a kind of game, for the intention of the shaman in creating within himself the feeling of death or the experience of death is to wake back up into the daylight and to realize for the first time what a gift life is. And this can be realized without the death experience by one who is sensitive and imaginative and who can put himself into that awareness of the place beneath the pyramid or the earth, in the sweat lodge, or the person on the vision quest who is going without food and sleep and asking for enlightenment.
Indeed, this realization of how sweet and wonderful an opportunity that each day is can be cultivated without the death experience or the analog to the death experience. And we would recommend focusing each and every day on thanksgiving for being alive and being able to experience this beautiful creation that you experience each day.
This instrument asks us mentally, and we repeat it that we may answer for each of you. How can you say that Jesus is Lord if you say that Jesus can be replaced with another of the same consciousness? And we say to you that it is our experience that selfhood is far less personal than it seems within third density. It is a matter of breadth of experience, of seeing into the illusion which within your incarnational experiences is such a perfect and complete illusion. Jesus, indeed, is Lord. Christ, indeed, is the highest and most pure and perfect love, that love that destroys only to transform, that kills only to raise and move onward.
Wherever we see the Christ within incarnation, that consciousness held by that entity is Lord. One recognizes it as one would recognize an oak tree or a brand of food in your marketplace. It is distinctive. It is perfect of its own kind, and it is a deeply impersonal, infinitely true consciousness in metaphysical location of quality and essence that transcends personality and re-identifies the individual as love.
Thus, such an entity at some point within its spiritual journey becomes aware that the spiritual journey is the sole function of its purpose on this planetary sphere, and as a result becomes more and more desirous of reaping the benefits of such a spiritual journey, of the inspiration that is seen within the being at the recognition of the Creator that it seeks, also residing within its own being. Thus, the great search begins to find that which has always been there, that which begins to speak to the spiritual mind, that which sees the ability of each seeker to grow into an infinity of opportunity to experience the one within.
In such a case, then, the entity often feels that there's very little use for what once was the only focus of its attention, that is, the mundane world and its means of operation. Thus, many have said that the dropping away of the concerns of the workaday world represents a kind of death of the ego. This may indeed be so, for as the spiritual journey is undertaken with more and more vigor, more and more time commitment, and more joy resulting from this seeking, the material world begins to dwindle in its importance and presence within such spiritual being.
Thus, it can be said that the ego death is that which is a natural outgrowth of such a progression of spiritual seeking. However, we would remind each entity that the dealing with the material world is ever present, and the ego death is that which is symbolic in nature and does not allow the pure pursuit of the spiritual path, a seeking only that which is of a higher level than the mundane world.
Nayamroa, one meets the self in the center or deeps of the being. The so-called resonating chamber may be likened unto the symbology of the burial and resurrection of the body, wherein the entity dies to self, and through this confrontation of apparent loss and realization of essential gain, is transmuted into a new and risen being.
Okay, so thank you. Now we have the meditation that Andy recorded for us.
Okay, relax. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And relax the breath. Relaxing your body, starting from your toes, your feet, your ankles, moving up the calves and shins. Relax your knees, your thighs, your hips. Relaxing your torso, moving up your abdominal area, your chest. Relaxing your shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers. Relaxing your neck, your jaw, your cheeks and ears, nose, eyes, temples, back of your head, forehead, and your crown. Inviting the light down to open up your violet ray energy center, your indigo ray energy center, your blue ray energy center, your green ray energy center, your yellow ray energy center, your orange ray energy center, and your red ray energy center. All energy centers opening up. Being present with the spirit within you, dwelling within you. Become aware of that energy permeating throughout your whole body. The energy of your spirit and its awareness permeating the whole body. And centering yourself. You find yourself at the edge of a freshly plowed field. Its soil so fertile and moist and ready for sowing. With each breath, you see little sprouts growing, pushing their way up through the soil in the field, each of them representing an experience you've had in this third density illusion. Every breath you take, every breath you've ever taken is represented by a sprout pushing its way up through the dirt. Every belief you've ever held, every action you've ever taken, sprouting and growing towards the sun. Everything you've ever done, every thought you've ever had, whilst in this third density existence, sprouting in this field and growing. This huge, immense field. Some of them you might have even forgotten, but they're sprouting anyway. Every beat of the heart is a little sprout pushing its way up towards the sky. Every step you've taken, everything you've held, every experience in your life so far, sprouting and growing. Watch it grow. And grow into a field of nourishing crops. What sort of crop is it? What could it be used for? Are they mixed crops? You see the insects come, butterflies spreading their wings. Maybe there's some ants playing in this field of crops. Maybe there's some dragonflies or bees. And some weeds, and they're allowed to grow too. All pushing their way up through the dirt towards the sun. With every breath, more little sprouts come up. Now a figure emerges, standing next to you, a comforting presence, masculine figure here, to harvest the crop. What does he hold? With what instrument is he using to harvest this crop? He's assuring you that you have done a very good job in sowing this field. This creation is now time for harvesting. And you feel a great sense of gratitude for the opportunity to perform this service. And a sense of and gratitude is given to you as well from this figure who proceeds to harvest the crop. And you observe in this presence, as the crop is being harvested, more is sown, this continual process. You sit with this process and observe what you feel about this harvesting, this cycle of ploughing, sowing, harvesting. Become aware with the severing of each stem, that this experience has now passed. Every stem that is severed in the harvesting will now be used by the Creator and stored as a way that the Creator has come to know itself, to experience itself. And now the field has been harvested. The soil is being ploughed again and the cycle repeats, ready for a new start from this moment onwards. When you're ready, gradually ease yourself out of the meditative state.